Hello everyone, this is my as they call me, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry Tatarigoroshi. Let's just begin. Beyond the others, having to set up for the Tatarigoroshi festival or something, invited me along, but I refused. Of course I did. How could they be taking it easy and setting up for a festival in this situation? Beyond had a lot of nerve. And this is the chapter where I believe Keiichi's gonna plot a murder. Ooh boy, here we go. The first thing I did when I got back was take a shower. Not because I wanted to wash off sweat. It was because I wanted to be even calmer. I already understood this, but killing that man would be so very easy. The really hard thing would be not getting arrested for it, so we could get our peaceful days back. As I thought about it, I realized it wasn't easy. Japan's police force have the highest arrest rate in the world. I would need to deceitfully pull off the perfect crime, and it couldn't be a half-hearted attempt. Still, it wasn't 100%. Even the best police force in the world couldn't have a 100% arrest rate. I read a lot of articles on trials with people brought up on false charges. They do a lot to determine whether they were really false accusations, but figuring out who the real criminal was is usually out of the question. And that meant perfect crimes did exist. In fact, perfect crimes were sort of like works of art. They could even be respected and revered. You just had to look at the inundation of mystery novels everywhere throughout history. They had dealt with all sorts of difficult-to-solve incidents involving secret rooms and alibis and stuff, but they all wanted to show one thing. They wanted to show the beauty of a perfect crime. There was something divine in the flawlessness of the word perfect. Yes. Perfect crimes were skills of the gods. In that sense, the serial-freak deaths they were calling the curse of Shio-sama, I understood, they must have been the works of gods. Each one had appeared to have been resolved, but they couldn't stop it from happening every year. Yeah, skills belonging only to gods. Those are perfect crimes. And I would be setting up my own crime before Shio-sama's series of perfect crimes 4 years in the running. If I were to put it boldly, I was challenging a god. Foolhardiness would be needed to make the decision, but I needed to be calm, cool, colder than ice to put that plan together. Kill him like a flame, but as systematic as ice. Starting now, I need to retain both of those ideas within me. Modeling my crime after a mystery novel wasn't actually a bad thing to focus on. Oh boy. Come on! You do a great job in translating, but sometimes, you got to do some spell checks. Sometimes, kidnappings involving disturbing, original methods that made it into the newspaper were used as a basis for novels after the person was arrested. Stuff like that made it into the news. Day and night, for a very long time, mystery novel authors polished and refined their most fantastic artistic crimes. Imitating that would be a shortcut to planning the perfect crime in a short period of time. Of course, I haven't read enough mystery novels to act all high and mighty about them. The one who really liked mystery novels was my mom. She read every well-known mystery novel from overseas, from past and present. Every time she watched mystery shows, she would always criticize them as having tricks or being poorly thought out. I wonder what the perfect crime would mean to her. What do I think the most well-done perfect crime in all mystery novels I read is? Yeah. Well, you read quite a lot of them, right? I figure you might know a lot about them. It's more fun to read them than to find out. If I already told you all the tricks right off the bat, that would be no fun anymore. It wasn't like I was asking for my own amusement. She was deflecting the question, so somehow butter her up first and draw an answer. Of course, Agatha Christie's And Then There Was None is my top recommendation. And Murder on the Orient Express would use some great bold tricks too, of course. I didn't see it coming at all. I didn't want to know which novels you liked. I want to know about the trick that made you most surprised. If it was really a perfect trick, the detectives wouldn't be able to solve the case, though. That was true. Then there would be no point. Mystery novels are enjoyable because of the process of the mysteries getting solved. If it was unsolvable, then it wouldn't make a very good topic for a novel. I get it. Yeah, you're right. If the main character can't solve it, it wouldn't be much of a story. Huh. Was that being too simplistic? A mystery novel is basically a game. They were written so that you could get to the goal, so that you could solve them. But I couldn't use something so optimistic. It needed to be an be-all, end-all of tricks so that we could, without a doubt, return to our old lives. By the way, Keiichi, do you understand that truly perfect crimes don't even become stories? Mom looked at me intellectually and grinned implicitly. I never got to read it, but apparently one time a long time ago, Mom had written her own mystery novel and submitted it for some mystery novel award. Apparently she was really into it. Don't even become stories. What does that mean? Keiichi, what are the ends also parts of a story? A beginning, a middle, an end? Correct. The beginning, of course, is especially important. If there is no beginning, then the story never starts. Well, yeah. If nothing happened, nothing would begin. Right. Nothing happened, so there wouldn't even be an incident. The detectives would be called, so there wouldn't be any mystery. There would be no mystery, so there would be no solution. In other words, it would be the ultimate perfect crime. Wait a second. Could you explain that again? My mom just told me something absurd. And she was saying it so smoothly, too, so I kind of tuned her out, but she said something extremely important just now. It's not really that difficult to understand. The innocent just never has to come to light, that's all. Just has to never come to light? For example, what about this? Say there's an old man living deep in a forest that nobody goes into. And one day the old man gets killed by an axe. And let's say the criminal was the old man's son. He went to the old man's house and they were drinking together, but they got into a fight and he killed him. What an extremely cheap plot. It was an impulsive crime without a bit of planning. It was pretty far from a perfect crime. By Keiichi, the house was really deep in the forest. So deep in the mountains that nobody would ever go that far. Then his son would go back into town and say that the old man was doing fine. What about that is a perfect crime? Keiichi, this incident only began when it was found out the old man was killed. If nobody ever visited the old man's house after that, the beginning would never occur. The beginning would never occur. So basically, a story wouldn't start. The incident wouldn't come to light, and they wouldn't call in detectives, and nobody would be suspicious in the first place, so there would be no mystery. They'd just think the old man was still living by himself deep in the forest, and the old man's face would appear in the sky, and that would be it. Something like that, you know? Oh, that was Keiichi's mom. Oops. Okay, I'll just go on without saying anything. That's amazing. That's a pretty great trick. I don't want to be a novel. Mystery novels are for entertainment, after all. They can't be instruction manuals for perfect crimes. Okay, I'm gonna say this real quick. Keiichi said, amazing, that's amazing! He killed the old man, and he's not in trouble because the case never began in the first place. Like, that's a little bit concerning when you think about that. Just imagine your son or one of your friends, after you explain the perfect crime to them, saying, amazing, that's awesome! That would be a little bit concerning because they're kind of praising a murder that nobody's figuring out. Oh boy. I was trying hard to talk cheerfully to fool her, but inside I was excited. Yeah, that's kind of, not the best thing to be while talking about murder, excited. That could say a lot about you. Special tools, strange geography, mysterious drugs, traps involving sums of cash, none of them were needed for perfect crimes. The important thing was that there wasn't a beginning. As long as the incident didn't come to light, it would be fine. Speaking broadly, if I could kill him without anyone finding out, and dispose of the corpse somewhere where no one could find, it would basically already be a perfect crime. Of course, if someone up and vanished one day all of a sudden, people would get suspicious. But that didn't apply to this man. Last year, after their aunt died, he ran away from the village in fear of Oshio-sama. When the night of Tatarigoroshi came around again, everyone would have to think that he ran away in fear again. I mean, he had been living with the lover of his in town. No matter what it felt like when he vanished, no one would be suspicious. People hated him after all. No one would care if he wouldn't disappear. No one would care if he went and if he disappeared. When I thought about it like that, it got easier and easier to imagine killing him. There was no point in thinking inside my house anymore. I left, getting my bike out of the garage. For now, it didn't matter where I was going. I just rode through the wind, trying to calm my excitement by feeling the cool air on my body. Where would I kill him? How would I do it? What time? And how would I dispose of the corpse? If I just had those 4 things, I could get a good plan going. I was so surprised at how little there was to decide that I shivered. I've been completely prepared to build this humongous plan over a long period of time. But if I could just get these little things in order, I could put it into motion. Today was Saturday. I would have to kill him on the night of Tatarigoroshi, so as long as I was standing in for Orishio-sama, I only had 24 hours remaining. Satoko, just hang on for 24 more hours. I can't even imagine having to suffer through even more, but please, hold out for a little longer. I know you can't even last another second, I know that. But please, just hold out. Your Nini will save you for sure. Keiichi's going down the deep end. Outside, it was early enough for the cicadas to be crying. Early afternoon. Evening was still a long way off. I looked at the sky. At some point it got cloudy. Come to think of it, as I left the house, I heard on the TV that the weather forecast was calling for a chance of rain on Sunday. The sky was the color of lead. If I heard a little bit of thunder, I definitely had expected a sudden evening shower. The first destination was school. Before explaining why I was going there, I needed to explain what method for killing that man I had decided upon. I decided the most suitable death, the one that I needed to give him, was the same as last year's curse. The same as the punishment their aunt had received, being beaten to death. Wouldn't beating him to death be somewhat unreliable? You may think that stabbing him with a blade would be more reliable, but this was something I had chosen after a lot of thought. You just needed to think realistically. The law, it prohibited carrying any blades longer than 10 centimeters, I think. So the blades available to me, though long enough, limited to things shorter than a ruler. You could probably understand how tricky it would be with such a short reach to go up against an opponent that might fight back. In that case, using a weapon with reach would be far more effective. It might not have the same precision, but you just had to hit the guy until you killed him. Both options result in death. That settled, what is the weapon with the most terrifying force behind it that is also easy to carry around? By this point, you should immediately think of a metal baseball bat. I don't need to explain how terrifying a metal baseball bat could be used as a weapon. A special note is the fact that you carry one around in broad daylight and not be thought of as suspicious. Just those 2 points would have been enough to choose a metal bat for my weapon. But there was one more reason for choosing metal bat in particular. I will speak about it later. After school that Saturday, my classmates were still having fun, playing in the schoolyard. I could show up there and it would be the same as always, so nobody would think I'm suspicious. Getting my hands on the whip without looking suspicious was actually a factor I couldn't ignore. I didn't normally play baseball, so if I went to a sports store looking for a metal bat, it would be definitely suspicious. I can't let there be a beginning to the story, so I needed to be really careful even about that. That left school. At a location at which my appearance wouldn't be suspicious, I could acquire the weapon. I checked inside the classroom through the window, but of course there was no one there. The only students that would stay in there were me and the others when we were doing club activities. Without us, the classroom was just an empty, unused room. Without glancing around nervously, as if I had just gone to get something I'd forgotten, I casually went in the entrance. Luckily, the teacher was busy with paperwork in the teacher's lounge. I didn't see her in the hallway. Naturally, yet quickly as a shadow, I entered the classroom. The empty room was full of strange, stagnant air that you couldn't feel normally. An empty classroom, with no one there. Maybe while no one is around, the desks creep about on their own accord, licking the floors clean of dirt. If I suddenly step into a place like that, Will the deaths and their supplies fly at me, crush my bones, and eat me alive? That's ridiculous. I felt regret at wasting valuable time thinking on stupid delusions. The students' lockers were lined up in the back of the classroom. The one I was looking for wasn't my own. It was a forbidden locker. One that I accidentally discovered one day. Here it is. Hojo. This has to be it. If one person has one locker, then why would only Sato have two? I made a fuss about it once. After that, I learned it was Satoshi's locker, and he had the same last name as her. But of course, even though it was a locker for a student no longer here, moving inside it was still a shameless act. But one time, I let my curiosity get the better of me and took a peek inside. Inside was average and worthless, and at the time, I hadn't been interested, so until I had forgotten what had been in it. Now that I had, dare I say it, awakened, I remembered the thing that had been in there. I opened the locker, and a stench of mold and sweat wafted out, like a gym storehouse that hadn't been cleaned in weeks. My face puckered at the stench, but I looked for it. Yes, Satoshi was on the coach's baseball team. Inside the locker was a Himizawa fighter's uniform, and the one Satoshi used, the metal bat. Yes, this was the reason I wanted to choose this bat. This murder would be carried out by me, but it wasn't really my role. It was Satoshi's. I would stand in for him and call myself Satoko's Nini. It was one of the rules for standing in for him. I reached for the metal bat and grasped it firmly. It was light, and yet its tip had enough heft in it, enough to easily imagine the horror if I brought it down with all my might. Satoshi, I'll give you one last chance to save your sister. Lend me your strength. You're a coward. I'll stand in for you. So if you still care even a little bit about her, you will. Lend me your strength. There is no more suitable weapon in the world for putting that man to death than your bat. Now, I just need to figure out where to hide it. Tomorrow, before the act, I would stop by the school and grab it. Because I couldn't ignore the possibility that someone would see me bring it home and think it was strange. But if I left it here, there wouldn't be a problem. Plus, tomorrow was Sunday. Not only that, it was the day of the biggest festival in the whole village. Nobody would be coming to school. I left out the entrance and went over to a construction vehicle parked nearby. We'd been warned that our teacher not to touch it just for laughs, so none of the kids would come near the vehicle either. If they wouldn't, because if she found out they touched it, they would be in big trouble. I quietly hid it in the shadow of the vehicle. The chances of someone operating the vehicle tomorrow were slim to none, because tomorrow was Sunday. Government workers had the day off, and from what classmates had said, the thing had been left there for a few years now. Machines that haven't been moved in years, you can't just suddenly start them up again. So I was almost definitely fine in this case. Suddenly it was piercingly hot. My head grew faint for a moment. Had the heat been this harsh for the entire day? A moment of dull thoughts like this was a moment of carelessness. I gave myself a couple of hits in the head and looked around warily. Okay. Next. How to dispose of the corpse. Here we go! Wow. This is actually one of the most interesting chapters I have read of Higurashi because, well, Keiichi's about to do something very, very rash. Disposing of the corpse. The ultimate way not to create the beginning was not to let the corpse be found. It was even more important than killing him. Thinking on it vaguely, the first thing that came to mind was the swamp. Onefuchi, the dreadful bottomless swamp that revered even now, that appeared in the legends of Okafuchi village. Yes, a swamp called Okinafuchi was here first, and then the village took its name to become Okinafuchi Village. In other words, this swamp was the origin of Okinafuchi Village. No one, no matter who it was, would float back to the surface of this bottomless swamp. Everyone would be swallowed down into the land of demons below the earth. And that was how the stories went. If I was trying to copy Oshirosawa's curse, then I felt that theory demanded I discard the remains and the weapon into the swamp. But it may have said it's bottomless. I didn't actually know. As people say, large creatures like humans produce a lot of gas when they rot, granting a lot of buoyancy. It was why using fairly heavy objects to hold people down didn't work. Come to think of it. With the curse the year before last, Ricky's mother drowned herself in the swamp. The colonel behind it discovered that went missing the year of the first curse too. It was rumored that he tried to discard the body in the swamp and accidentally drowned in it. I never heard of the corpse coming back up, and nor the finding it. Then, shouldn't I choose to discard the corpse there too? I could discard the weapon there too. And then, for example, if Anto came out on a motorcycle and attacked, it would be a convenient way to get rid of the bike too. I knew that Satsuko's uncle would generally use a motorcycle for transportation. As for the corpse, after a lot of worrying, I decided not to discard the corpse in the swamp. The drowning, suicide, and accident were both rumors, so nobody knew if they actually happened. There was no lack of false rumors about the drowning suicide anyway, so it was possible the murderer hadn't even drowned there and was still on the run. That meant no one had ever confirmed the corpse being dropped in there and not coming back up. And what would I do with the body? I thought it might be interesting to go with the first instinct, cut him up to pieces and hide him, but the preparation to work for dismembering a human body would be difficult given the amount of time I had. With that out of the question, I arrived at the conclusion to go with the more orthodox method of burying the body. And where would I bury it? Was the question related to where I would kill him? Of course, I wanted to keep my time in proximity to the body at minimum. With that in mind, I would want to dig a hole to dump the body beforehand, and then make the location of the act and the hole closer together. The choice of where to plan the crime that I need to absolutely be careful and thorough with. It had to be somewhere nobody would witness it, in a place with hiding places for a sneak attack. I could dig a hole for the body right there. I'll go over the possibilities in my head of the various destinations our uncle would head to and from Satsuko's house. I imagined the map of the area in my head, and I found a place that fulfilled those conditions so easily it was almost unbelievable. A bit of back road that went through the woods. I didn't think our uncle would go deeper into the mountains of Higurashi on a whim, so if he was going somewhere, he would pass through these woods first. And nobody used this back way unless they had something to do at Satsuko's house or one or two other places. This place was fantastically ideal, as few people used it. I'll wait for him in these woods. Would an ambush actually be possible? I went into the trees and tried really hiding myself in a few places. It was extremely quiet. My senses would be sharpened here to their maximum amount. I didn't know where he'd come from, but I went right there for Satsuko's uncle. I actually had some trouble coming to that decision. The question arose of whether I should somehow call the man out. Was there a risk I'd take by luring him here? Maybe Satsuko do all the shopping and errands. He seldom left on his own business. He wouldn't leave unless someone could have the plan to force him to, would he? That was the question. Tomorrow was with the Higurashi festival. Would he go out for the festival or would he stay inside? If he stayed inside, how would I drag him out of his house? That's right. Wouldn't he make Satsuko go to the festival? Satsuko will go to the festival. Meanwhile, I'll call the man. This was the Okinawa police station. We had the young lady from your house. Could you come here and pick her up immediately? It didn't have to be the police. This was the clinic. The young lady from your house has been injured. Please come and pick her up. Yes, that will work too. If I claimed to be the police or the hospital, told him to come and then hung up on him, he'd rush over trying to figure out what was going on, wouldn't he? And just the other day, he was visited by a probation officer. He wouldn't suddenly grumble about having to get his niece and not go. It would look like child neglect. The man had no skills useful around the house. Satsuko, his slave, was an essential part of his daily life. Conclusion. If he went out to the festival, I would attack him here on his way there or back. If he didn't, I would learn him out by phone. If learning him out by phone was my first step, I need to be sure Satsuko would go to the festival, leaving the house. It would be convenient if I could make Mion take Satsuko to the festival. She said her aunt was a district welfare officer. In other words, an ally to the probation officer. If I saw and decided Mion to take Satsuko to the festival with her, well, being who she was, she would use the fact and get her there. Satsuko should just take a break and have fun at the festival with everyone. She just have a good time, reminisce on her former peaceful days, and then when she went home, everything would be over. Yeah, that would be the best outcome. That decided, I decided to dig a hole somewhere in the woods to hide the body. So it wouldn't stand out, so it wouldn't be found. Someplace nobody would see me while completely exposed as I buried the corpse. I wanted to be close to the scene of the crime, but it naturally grew further away. Deep in the bottom of the Black Forest, the voices of Higurashi were only sounds here, informing that people shouldn't be discreetly set foot in this place. Digging a hole, huh? Digging a hole with so many tree roots crawling around the ground will be far more difficult than I envisioned. I snuck a gardening spade out in my bag, but that wouldn't be enough. Still, owing to various approaches, I managed to find a place I could dig into. Tomorrow, I'll bring a real shovel from the storeroom at home. I'd manage with that. I wonder how big a hole would have to be to fit a human all the way into it. I'll probably have to dig pretty deep down. If I was a slipshod in these efforts, I'd let the beginning occur. I absolutely couldn't allow that. Use any amount of time you need to. I mustn't spare any effort to utterly erase him. I glanced at my watch. It was a little past 6. This is probably all I was going to get done here for today. I really wanted to dig the hole in advance tonight, even if it got dark out. Mom would be upset if I stayed out that late. It would be good to come off as suspicious of my parents. I need to go back home and get Mion a call soon. I need to get her to promise Satsuko to take her by tonight. After that, the day will be done. Done. Would it be done? Was this really everything I could do to prepare right now? I decided where to kill him. I decided how to kill him. I decided, of course, how to dispose of the body. I didn't decide on the time. I'll play that by ear. I didn't have a way to decide that. Is that really all? Was this really alright? Have I overlooked anything? Would this really go how I planned? After all this, warriors started rolling up one after the other. It was only natural I'd be agents. This would be the first and last big job of my lifetime. How could I allow failure? And I had no experience, and this was my first time. I didn't even know how the knack. So it was only natural I'd be anxious. Dark clouds of unease told me doing nothing would be the easiest way. A truly pathetic suggestion this late in the game. Have you forgotten how miserable Satsuko looked? From the outside, it may have looked like I was resolute, but deep in my heart, my knees were shaking loudly. I never actually won a single fight to my satisfaction. Could I really kill someone? I may have been planning an ambush, but my enemy was far large and older than me. He had a scary face, and it looked like he was well accustomed to fighting. Could I have all the pieces before and after the murder were perfectly planned? But the actual murder, the most important part, wasn't suddenly lost? All my preparations, all my perfectly concealed machinations, if I didn't successfully murder him, they amounted to nothing. Damn it! After coming this far, you're pathetic, Keiichi, my brother. If you start to have these kinds of second thoughts, your ulterior motive will be obvious. Let's go home. Go home. Call your mind. Tomorrow will be a juncture in your life, the likes of which graduation, employment, marriage, and child which couldn't hold a candle to. A day of murder. To kill someone for someone else's sake. With that day behind us, we would take it back again. Those mild spring-like days that we never thought would stop. Those safe, peaceful, fun times. I pedaled my bicycle hard to get back home. I felt somewhat unsteady. My body and soul weren't in alignment. A subtle shift between the tips of my hands and feet really were and where I felt them to be. My vision was a little distant and narrow. As if the greatest bear I rested my future life on had nothing to do with me. An unreal sensation. How could I put it? Everything was so far away. Fine. Feel your unease permeate you, Keiichi Maibara. If that will turn your timidity into maliciousness and allow you to act with greater caution, it is actually an important emotion to feel. This feeling I had never went away that night. It was the first I will be calling Mion's house. Oh, it was the first time I'd be calling Mion's house, sorry. I searched for her in the phone book the school gave me. Nintendo's short phone number, the kind unique to remote places. It was around dinner time. She would probably be home. It's just I started to think nobody would respond. Someone finally picked up the receiver. Hello, this is Sonozaki. Oh, I'm sorry for calling so late at night. Is this Mion? Huh? May I ask who's calling? It's me, Keiichi. Ah, oh, Kei-chan. It's pretty late. What's up? She seemed to be in a really good mood, and she drew her cylinders out. Right. It's not before tomorrow's festival, so she's probably with her family having some drinks. Sorry for the late call. Okay. Sorry for the late call. Do you have the time right now? Sure. What is it? It's about Sadako. I heard her draw a small breath on the other end. Sadako. She's in a pretty bad spot. I hope that she's okay. The scent of sake completely disappeared from her voice. She can't be okay. You saw it too, didn't you? What was she like? She was completely worn out from all the abuse. We failed her all this time, and now she was coming like that. We didn't fail her. Everyone tried their hardest to help her. But we didn't come up with anything, and we couldn't save her. And then, we couldn't do anything about it. Now she was coming like that. I guess you're right. All I did was watch after all. So, well, at least. Can we at least let her have some fun for one night? Huh? Let her have fun? She's been so bad lately, you understand. That's why I want you to take her to the Tatarigoroshi festival tomorrow. I don't mind, but why? What? I want to give her a breather at least for the festival night, you know? Even if it's just one night. If she could get away from her evil uncle, then I think she'll be happy, even if it's for a little while. Yes, but why? What? Why what? I was having a little difficulty understanding what Mion was asking me. Why, well, I mean, why don't you bring her, Kei-chan? Why do you need to ask me to do it? Mion was persistent about odd things. No, maybe it would be better to say that she was sharp. Well, I actually have something to do tomorrow. I can't make it out to the festival. So I wanted you to take Satoko there for me. Something to do? It's nothing major. I'll probably finish quickly, but I might not be able to meet up with you all tomorrow. Hey, Mion. Can I leave Satoko to you? Just for tomorrow night? Mion took a long time to give a reply. I got the feeling Mion had been acting weird for a while now. Like she was flustered by emotions or something. No. Huh? Was that a sob? Mion? Are you crying? I said no. I don't want to. I don't want you to push this onto someone like me. I'm not trying to push anything onto you. It's just for tomorrow night. That was a lie! What? Mion? What was she talking about? It's just for the night of the Tatarigoroshi. And then it was forever. Liar. Oops, sorry, that was Mion. saying it's just for the night of Tatarigoroshi. Then it was forever. Fine. But I guess we're even, huh? I'm trying to keep the promise I made with you. I left her alone all this time. I had no idea what to say to that. Mia was clearly talking to someone other than me. Satoshi. I didn't know who. All I could do was listen to her in a daze. You never came back after that, and now you call me again to push her onto me? You're so unfair. Hey, you're Satoshi-kun, aren't you? Mia? What are you talking about? When I said her name, however spell was on Mia released. I'm sorry. It's nothing. It's just that I got a phone call a lot like the one you're making now a long time ago. Was it from Satoshi? Mia didn't answer. All I could hear were sobs coming through the receiver. Sorry. I'm still thinking I'm a little tipsy. I got weirdly emotional. I'm sorry. I probably scared you. I had no idea how it happened. But I was pretty sure that last year, on this very day, Satoshi had called me on and told her to bring Satoko to the festival. And when she was asked why she needed her to do it, he replied the same way I just did. Satoshi didn't go to the festival, did he? Yeah. He said he had something to do, and he couldn't make it. And he told me to take Satoko there in his place. At the time, Satoshi said it too, didn't he? Did he leave Satoko to you? Yeah, he did. Just for tomorrow night. The way you just said it. It's like how he did. I got a little upset. Caught him in a memory and all. I didn't expect this. Satoshi had given the exact same phone call 1 year ago today. He had kept going on after that. That he was lying. That he told that there would be only for the night of the festival. I get it. A few days later, Satoshi, he disappeared. Disappeared might have been a rather vague way to put it. Whether he ran away or not, Satoshi left abandoning Satoko. Yes. He didn't transfer or run away from home. He disappeared. And then, an idea far more indistinct than even a fog crossed into my mind. Satoshi made exactly the same phone call as me as last year. Why? Would Satoshi make the same phone call? If, in the true sense, he really made the exact same phone call as I had now. An incident where their aunt had been beaten to death, that's... couldn't... was Satoshi. Huh? What was that? Last year, Satoko had been constantly abused by her uncle's wife, their aunt too. Her aunt abused her the most. And on that night, in the name of Shirazawa's curse, she was taken from this world. If I thought about that, everything made perfect sense, didn't it? Last year, Satoko's aunt was beaten to death, wasn't she? Would it be possible Satoshi to have? No, but that would mean... But then Satoshi, he was a coward who abandoned Satoko and ran away, wasn't he? How could Satoshi resolve himself to kill a person to save Satoko? It was unthinkable. I actually consider that as well. Though it would be mean to Satoshi. A few days later, he disappeared. On Satoko's birthday, when I first heard it, I flew into a rage. What a cruelty to have to run away on. But now that I thought about it like this, the story changed completely. Satoshi had probably been even less calm than I was now. He was her big brother, related by blood, watching his little sister be abused day in, day out. That's why he couldn't keep calm. And that was why the corpse of their aunt, beaten to death, was so easily discovered. Satoshi lost himself in his anger and hadn't hidden the corpse, prevented it beginning to occur. The police conducted a full-blown investigation. It was easy to imagine they wouldn't take long to pin down Satoshi as the culprit. Satoshi. He wished for a return to peaceful days with Satoko, and though he achieved it for a time, he had been sadly driven to a corner. And then he wanted to at least hold out until Satoko's birthday, but finally they nailed him. At the time, Satoshi had been carrying the savings he amassed to buy Satoko a giant stuffed animal for a birthday present. He would buy the stuffed animal as a gift, and then get caught. Or could use the money and disappear. That was the choice he had been forced to make. And he decided how to make Satoko the sister of a murderer. If that was the case, then it must have been an unspeakably better decision. All that money he saved, wanting to see Satoko happy, he used it to make her sad. And he used the savings and disappeared to Tokyo, if the rumors were true. Was that how Satoshi disappeared? I don't know. That Oishi guy seems to think that way, though. Oishi? Had he been slowly driven to a corner by the repulsive man pig-headed pursuit? The circumstantial evidence is all there, but I think your deduction is wrong. They caught some crazy drug addict somewhere in the prefecture, and he apparently turned himself in for the crime. I was right. The thief knew that he could confess, and the incident was solved. It said he really was just a crazy person, and that he had no ties to Himizawa. No relationship with Satoshi, of course. I mean, I have a pretty hard time believing the guy who would lie into Satoshi's place. You couldn't just abruptly decide like that. You never know where or how humans are tied together. If that guy took the blame, then it was a perfect crime. Of course, if it was really a perfect crime, there would no reason for Satoshi to vanish. Plus, I don't think Satoshi had the kind of money to run away. That day he withdrew all of his savings. No matter who I tell this to, nobody believes me, but that stuffed animal he said he was buying for Satoko, it was gone from display. Sold. Must have been Satoshi. Wait a minute. If he didn't use that money to flee and bought the stuffed animal instead, he would have come back to Satoko, wouldn't he? It seems unbelievable he would buy it and disappear without having given it to her. Whoops. How do I... Shit. Shit. How do I... Oh, God. Oh, my God. No. No. Oh, no. I am so sorry. How do I get out? That... Escape. Yeah. So, now I don't know what happened. It would be one thing if he had the money, but if he used all his savings on it, he would be totally broke. You can't live a life on their own without money in this world. I didn't get it. After all that, I was understanding Satoshi less and less. The two of us fell scent. I couldn't remember how we even got on this topic. Sorry. I think we got off topic. Satoko, right? Don't worry. I actually already invited her. Huh? You serious? When everyone went to this shrine to prepare for the festival, we started talking about getting Satoko to the festival itself. So then I used the phone at the assembly hall to invite her. Her uncle was acting distant and didn't care at all. But in any case, we got okay from him. We decided to all meet him and go together tomorrow. You okay with that? Satoshi? Stupid. I'm not Satoshi. I was a little relieved. I didn't really need to make the phone call. Satoko had already been invited to the festival. And not in a way that smelled of blood. I waited to leave her uncle alone to create time for me to kill him. They apparently wanted Satoko to enjoy herself, so they invited her. In the end, it was the same, but I was happy for that slight difference. Sorry. I guess I needed to call them. First yesterday, now today. Sorry for saying such weird things. Just forget about it. Oh, I'm the one who should apologize. Losing it like that isn't like me. I'm really sorry. We apologized to each other for a little bit. Alright, I'll be going now. Good night. What do you have to do? What did you have to do? I'm sorry. What did you have to do? As if our interrupting our parting words, Mion struck straight where it hurt. Or is it like with Satoshi, where you can't say? Stupid. I keep telling you, I'm not Satoshi. Yeah, I know that. I deflected her, but the response wasn't really an answer. Mion didn't help me anymore after that. Alright, this time is for real. Good night. I don't know why you're giving me the same phone call as Satoshi-kun did, but... yeah, never mind. I'm sorry. Good night. I'm hanging up. Satoshi Hojo. Just who are you? I scorned you as a coward who ran away, abandoning his sister. I always thought you didn't have the right to call yourself her Nini. But I don't know what to think. Shit. Oshio-sama's curse on the 4th year. Their aunt's death, and Satoshi's disappearance. And now me, trying to carry out Oshio-sama's curse on the 5th. Oddly enough, what I was going to do overlapped perfectly with Satoshi. The day before the curse. No, that wasn't it at all. If we start back from Setsuko being abused, then I'll be overlapping with Satoshi for days already. When I talked to Mion before, she asked me if I was Satoshi. That was the first impression a third party like Mion got. It was probably true. Then if Satoshi had accomplished, I would succeed in murder. That was to the extent which we overlapped. I was far calmer than Satoshi, and more calculating. I could actually go calmer, the more enthusiastic I became. That's why I wouldn't follow in Satoshi's footsteps. I was snipping clearly out of the world, and then get back to our peaceful life. Maybe Satoshi has been with me ever since I was chose to use Satoshi's back as my weapon. No, maybe even longer than that. When I decided I would be her Nini, maybe Satoshi had been residing within me too. Satoshi, were you really a coward? Or are you a true Nini even now, the kind of warrior Satsuko's love? I never met him, never spoken to him, didn't even know his face, yet I felt so connected to him. I never felt that way before. And that was the end of the chapter. Oh my god. Towards the end, I was slipping up. Like, I felt good at the beginning, but towards the end, I was slipping up because I kept on clicking out tab. That really messed up my jive. You received new tips for the attention on the housewife slaughter incident case. Ooh, that's interesting. Housewife, okay, here we go. Okay, for the attention of those on the housewife slaughter incident murder case. Alright, here we go. Slaughter incident case. Okay, here we go. July blank, 1982. Okinawa Police Station, First Investigator Division. Chief Taksuki. Prefecture Police Headquarters for the Eradication of Drug-Related Crime. Shishibon Branch Head. Regarding the incident, designated as undercover investigation. The message informed that the section of the testimony records of an incident under the police headquarters jurisdiction has been found. That is thought to be related to the undercover investigated incident in question, Okinawa Police Station X, Himazawa Village housewife slaughter incident. During the investigation of Subject Blank, who was arrested for possession of illegal drugs, there was a testimony related to the crime in question, and in part of it, we learned that the criminal had information he could only have known. Therefore, a record of testimony, duplicate attached, will be provided to you. If this testimony is to be believed, then there is an extremely high chance that suspect was the culprit behind the incident in question. In addition, the head investigator on the case had received a report and inquired as to the incident with the Okinawa Police Station. The responsible party at Okinawa Station, who responded to the designated undercover investigation and announced that the Prefecture Police's General Director on July 1st, 1982, Okasuma Fukushe B112, misunderstood, and did not explain the incident's existence to the head investigator of the case properly. Because of this, the case head investigator was not aware of the importance of the testimony as it related to the case in question, and as a result, was negligent in covering the scene. We apologize for having left it in the dark until now. In addition, there was a postscript stating that suspect died while in confinement yesterday on XXX. Well, that's a way to end that. Alright, so, I read the entirety of Chapter 9 of Tatarigoroshi, which was mostly, Keiichi's plan of murder. Things are going to get even darker and even more interesting next time. So if you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time in Higurashi when they cry Tatarigoroshi. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you all next time.